Greetings and welcome back to my batch for the second episode of the Volvo build. This time it's interior time again. It's time to finish it off. Final assembly, and as I was talking about, doing the frickin' seat harness safety belt from a strip of tape. So a sneak peek, here's the dash. Looking fine and dandy, minimalistic of course, because it's a Volvo, it's gotta be sensible, you know. But the kit decals depict black belts, and I haven't really done any research as to what kind of belts are supposed to be in the vehicle, but the one that I saw back in Sweden had blue belts, and by gosh darn it, mine are gonna be heavy blue. Vallejo Gib, extra opaque, whatever that means. So I'm shaking it up a little bit, and it's gonna be messy as hell because I got my widest strip of tape here, my allergies, and I got a big ass brush, and I'm gonna paint the tape. There are many ways to do this, I guess. And I'm just gonna cut the tape into strips. I'm also gonna do something real clever that I was gonna say right here. I'm also gonna fold it like in on itself, so it's gonna be doubled up. No idea if it's gonna crack the paint or not, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So basically I'm just painting tape right now. Super duper interesting thing to watch, but this paint really covers up that. Is that what extra opaque means? I guess so. And now we're literally watching paint dry. Put too much on there. I have no idea how much I'm gonna actually be needing, but I'd rather make too much than too little. So there you have it. And like that, I'm gonna go wait for this to dry, turn off the light maybe. And once this is dry, I can turn off the light again, and then I can do my thing. Okay, so been thinking about this a little bit, and I guess it would probably be easier to try and do what I'm doing with what's it called again? Aluminum foil. But for thickness, I'm attempting to fold this in half, starting at one end. And because I'm trying to do this with a camera in my way, I can't really see what I'm doing. I'm concentrating. Shut up. Shut up, Barry. Sorry if this isn't on camera, but yeah. I'm concentrating like I was saying. But this is basically the desired result. So now I have blue on both sides. And I can cut this thing into a 2mm strip. and the instructions then contain the measurements of everything. I've got a little bit of air bubbles in here, that's why I'm doing this, in case you guys were wondering. But with my trusty ruler, I'm gonna measure out 2mm strips and give it a cut. But first I gotta get some food because I'm hungry. Well, so it was really fiddly cutting these out in just a 2mm length, thickness, not length. I also cut them into the correct lengths according to the instructions, and of course the instructions are meant for whatchamacallit, with the PE set, so we kind of need to thread them in and out of the buckles and stuff, so they do account lengthwise for that. But I think it's better to cut these a little bit too long, even if I'm not gonna loop them around and stuff, because it's always easier to shorten them rather than trying to make them longer if needed be. But anyways, putting these in is gonna be really kind of fiddly, so I'm gonna do that off camera. But to give you the play-by-play, I'm planning on putting in these guys that go between the legs first into the seat and gluing them on the underside of the seat, gluing the seat into place, and then threading the other four, giving them a little bit of glue to put them down, and then I'm gonna come back with, I guess, just either the kit decals. I'm gonna cut the buckles off, or a notion of the buckles, and put that on, or I might go with the aluminum foil and make some basic looking buckles out of that. I don't know, we'll see. But I'm gonna turn the camera off and fiddle around with this for an hour or so, because I work slow. Okay, that took some time and a little bit of frustration. So I'll try to go off with my usual random belt placement look. And yes, my buckles look like shit. My belt does not look that good, but it does not look like it's made of decals. And no, I did not glue this back half down, and that's because I already assembled the roll cage, and it has a cross bar going right here in the back, which has to go, like, you have to thread it inside there. But yes, and also the shade of blue on my belt could have been a lighter blue, but this is the one that I went with, and I'm keeping it this way because I like it this way, and that's why I did it in the first place. So anyways, there's nothing stopping me now from just actually finishing off the interior. Contemplating if I should detail it more, not a little bit more, like, god damn it, add a little bit more wires. I'm sorry if that's a bad word to say in English. Icelandic way is just curse if you want to curse, but, well, obviously not on TV and stuff. But totally lost my train of thought there. Completely forgot what I was talking about, so it can't have been that important. I'm just gonna go ahead and assemble the interior entirely, and that's gonna be that off and done with. So yeah, there's that. Well, this is at a weird angle, but it's the way weird angle that the instruction said it was supposed to be, but I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be down, but I did it anyway this way because it's not going to be that noticeable once it's inside the vehicle. So yeah. And this guy goes in here. And that's my completed interior top. There's not really that much going on in there, but then again, the real car does not really have that much going on. All it's missing is just the detail could be on the floor, could be a little better. Like this plate right here could be a separate piece just to keep it more raised, more 3D. As well as also I could have put some dark wash in there, but well, my mistake, I guess. And yeah, also there should be some, I think, computer or something back here. It was like a metal box, but this is what it looks like now. This is what it's going to look like once it goes inside my vehicle. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, so that's all that matters, I guess. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start spraying the body, I guess. I don't know why I said it like that, it just happened. Live with it. That's great focus. Okay, so before priming and painting the body, I believe for best results of a paint job, you should prep accordingly. Prep. It's all in the prep work, is what I'm trying to say. So I've already scuffed up the entire body with a 1000 grit sandpaper, and before I'm going to shoot after that, I'm going to give it a quick wipe down with some isopropanol alcohol. And what other isopropanol alcohol is better to wipe down a Volvo body than actual name brand isopropanol? Well, once again, I've gone and done stuff without turning on the camera, and I painted the entire body white. Basically, I had some problems with my airbrush a little bit, so yeah, so my new Badger airbrush, it comes with these two little prongs in the front, and those were catching the paint, causing it to ball up here and then all of a sudden just blow off and splatter on the model. And to fix that, I actually just bent the prongs back a little bit. I've seen some people actually break them off entirely, but I kind of want to have them there to protect my little needle. So yeah, I just bent those back, and it actually kind of solved my problem. So I've managed to give this one a coat of primer, and then just 2 coats of Vallejo, I think it's game color, yeah, game color dead white. And I sanded it with 2000 grit sandpaper in between each coat after the primer, after the first coat of white. And also I've just done that right now before I started masking off the dark gray metallic lines that are supposed to be down there on the rockers and the bumpers. So the way I did this is to get the line, well, correct-ishly lined up. I just made a little thing with the decals. I took the decals out and I lined them up with some parchment paper. I made a little like this. Put it in here. See how where the lines are gonna line up, and it goes like this. So leave a little bit of white in between, and this is my end result. And I don't know if you can tell, but on this side it actually comes out straight, but on the front and the back. But on the real car it comes out in a slant like this. It follows the bottom of the body more. So that's what I've done, and I quite like it this way. So I don't know, maybe I'll do the blue stripes at a slant, maybe I'll do them straight. Any which way, it doesn't really matter too much to me. It's gonna be close enough. So yeah, I'm gonna keep on keeping on, masking off this body, and then I gotta make a special custom mix of color for the dark metallic gray, I think. I'm super scared of getting overspray, so I'm doing my best to mask everything. When I say everything, I mean this part. I'm pretty sure I can manage without spraying onto the roof. Oh yeah, and I'm lining up this part with this part with a ruler like so. So it's all should be pretty similarly lined up. It's gonna be something, even though it's not correct. And did I mention, by the way, this is probably the best white paint job I've ever done. It's actually the first white paint job I've ever done, but I'm pretty happy with it, seeing how I was getting some tiny dust particles in there, but I managed to keep them out almost completely, and the little ones that actually stuck down I managed to sand off pretty easily, so it's actually pretty darn white in the end. Right, so turn off the freaking light with my head. I hate these touch button lights from China now, even though they give good light. But anyways, it's time to experiment a little with colors. So I'm going for this light gray, I'm not talking light gray, dark gray, metallic. So I'm thinking gun gray, and I'm thinking German gray, but that might be a little bit too dark, hence I say experimentation time. It is actually on my computer screen like a little bit darker than this barley gray, but I want to go for a little dark thing, I think. So I've shaken these up a little bit. I'm shaking them up a little bit more behind the camera. So German gray, that was probably the thing that's gonna ruin my paint job. A little bit of a dried up paint in the tip or something. And I'm gonna add just a dab of gun gray. Maybe I should go with a lighter steel. I'm gonna go with a lighter steel. Because this is really dark actually. I'm just gonna go with a tiny amount of steel. Look at how great Vallejo paints can be. Just a little bit of this, it was probably too much, because we just want that hint of metallic. And I do apologize for turning in my light off and on every 5 seconds. So my trick here is that I don't use as much thinner as I use airbrush flow improver. Because why the hell not just use the flow improver? And as you can tell, I'm not measuring a damn thing. I'm just going hog wild here. This is actually really close to the actual color of the thing. If anything, perhaps a tad dark. And it kind of cancels out the metallic flakes, but they're still there, so subtle as it should be. I'm almost pretty happy with this. I'm going to try and lighten it a little bit, although I'm looking at the picture on my computer screen at the same time. But yeah, I'm gonna lighten it a little bit. Can I leave this like this, or I gotta take my stir stick out? So, to lighten the thing, I'm going with just pale blue-gray, because I have it at hand from doing my F15. Can you tell I'm shaking it up like Taylor Swift? Yeah, I'm so strong, Viking strong. Give it a quick wipe, because I don't want those dried up particles in there. Oh, roll. You're giving it too much, like you always do. Hardly any change. This is the way I like to mix all my paints. I think we got the color pretty much down for what I want. It could be lighter if you were going for the real thing as the thing that I took pictures of in Sweden. But for my close enough interpretation, let's go for artistic license here. I want this thing a little bit darker. I don't want it black, but I want it like pretty similar to this. Maybe I'm gonna have a better look at it in the light. I want a little bit more of the metallic flakes, so I'm gonna put a little bit more steel in it. When I say a little bit, I'm talking 4 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just work, of course, and close this up. Show a lot of my hands on camera. Let's see what we come up with when I do this. This is very interesting YouTube things, I guess. Yes, yes, yes. I like what I got here. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint this on, I think. I like the thickness of it. I'm not no expert on the thickness of paints, but I like the thickness of this. So it appears that my clear coat, which actually gathered a little bit more hair than my white coat, has gone on a little bit too rough. I think you can see it there in the roof. I still haven't quite gotten the hang of using the rattle can clear that I use. But before I start with the decals, I'm going to take my 2000 grit sandpaper, and I got a little bowl with a little tiny bit of water in it because I want to keep it just a little wet, and just lightly go over the whole car before putting the decals on. I'm not gonna bother with doing another clear coat before that, because with a smooth surface the decal should go down pretty easily, or at least that's what I'm hoping. So just try not to go too heavily, so I won't strip the clear coat completely, like off the edges and stuff. But once I've gone over the whole car, I'm gonna go ahead and put the decals on. I'm gonna do that off camera because I work slow as hell and I'm not good at putting the big ass decals on in front of the camera, I guess, because I suck. You may notice the car still looks the same as it did last night when I told you guys I was going to go ahead and decal this son bitch up. Well, turned out the Regimodel decals were pure shite. First of all, the numbers on the instruction sheet, and the reason why I don't have it in front of me right now is because I got really angry last night and I threw it away. The numbers on the instruction sheet don't match up to any of the numbers on the, or they match up to like some of the numbers, but not a lot of the numbers on the actual decal sheet. So the instructions are pretty much useless if you're going by the numbers, so you kind of have to guess which one is which is which in a few places, even though they all are pretty much the same. Maybe then the size difference can be slight or something, but they're all marked, like all the Nordica decals were all, the one that goes here, here, and here were all marked the same number, but on the instruction sheet they were in fact 3 different numbers and stuff like that. So also they didn't want to come off the backing paper, and once they started sliding off the backing paper they hooked up again and just stretched, and they felt like rubber. They were really thick, and when the 2 that I got on here also started cracking when I was trying to place them and fold in on themselves, and not even when I was touching them. The Nordica decal I put on here, you can see the pictures. Yeah, it stretched over the door and then started shrinking again and folded in on itself as it was shrinking down again. So long story short, I'm really bummed because they actually cost quite a bit of money to import to Iceland, but they're in the trash now, and we're going with a plan B, which is still gonna be a Lindstrom car, which is this one, the 1985 Intertech winner. And I like this one because it doesn't have these huge Komachi City decals. I don't like these Komachi Sport Systems and Yasaki City and all these big advertisements. And also this one looks more European, I guess. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead with this one, but we're gonna do car number 20. So we'll have the name Lindström on the fender there, and that's what's happening. All I gotta do to change into this scheme, I gotta repaint the bumpers red and white, and I'm gonna go ahead and start by just painting over the dark gray color that I went through so much effort to mix with some steel. Then I'm gonna hit it with some white, and then I'm gonna hit it with some red. So yeah, thinking about just ending the video here because it's long enough as it is. And when we get back, I will probably already have it in decals. So yeah, we're gonna work on the chassis in the next episode. I want to move this thing along now. Anyways, keep on modeling, keep having fun, even if your decals can be crap. Just adapt and overcome, I guess. So catch you guys on the next one. Bye.